What up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Alex, I go by Chuggy. So, I have been trying to get back to gold ranks in Champions of Olympia. And I'm gonna be honest, man, it's just not happening. I don't know. I was gold in 2 seasons, but... Well, actually, no, not gold. I mean diamond, I'm sorry. So since I got those new commanders like Boudica and stuff, it's just not happening. Like back then, so I used a very tanky lineup of, I think I would have to lie, but I think it was something like Richard, and then a Richard March, a Charles March, and then I think it was actually Minamoto. And it was fairly easy to get to diamond, but now that I'm using those new commanders, somehow it's not working. But yeah, anyway, that's not the topic for today. The topic is actually the biggest issue that I see with Rise of Kingdoms, and also an idea I have to start to fix it. And I want to get into this by mentioning Fruitdealer. So that's a YouTube channel that has 4 videos, really good videos. If you haven't seen them, go check them out. And watching his videos, the thing that I want to talk about, I have thought about this for a long time, and it's becoming even more apparent with his videos, because he seemed to see the same exact issue that I'm seeing. So I don't know the full extent of his account history, but basically what he did, he started playing the game, he kept or held on to all the valuable resources in the game up until the point where he progressed far enough to, if he went all in with his resources, he could actually compete against like the highest echelon of players in Rise of Kingdoms. So this meaning he basically expertise, I don't know, like 8 commanders, 9 commanders, something like that, and crafted a whole lot of legendary equipment and so on and so forth. Now the thing is, I would say, if there is a thing like right and wrong, what he did is the only right way to play Rise of Kingdoms, which is you start, you hold on to all the valuable resources up until this point, and then you go all in. Because everything else is basically wasting resources. So, meaning you are restricting yourself from having fun in this game, which already is not fun if you are not like in the late game. So the implication is, you have to ask, like, why would somebody start playing this game? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now I actually have a whole lot of examples, like for one, Mess, who is a respected esports player, mostly known for World of Warcraft. He was for a time one of the biggest streamers on Twitch. He streamed Rise of Kingdoms for an hour. It was a paid stream. And after that, I'm telling you, on some Discord servers I am on, people have been laughing their asses off and asked, like, why in the hell would anybody play this game? It is so stupid. And from a pure gaming perspective, yeah, it is. Because why would you play a game for 2 years to get to the level where people are right now, but then they are, like, again 2 years ahead of you? It doesn't make sense. And that is the big difference between Rise of Kingdoms and any actual, like, esports video game. The meta is always super easy accessible. Theoretically, you could install Counter-Strike Go for the first time in your life, and right away you could be the best player in the world. what it takes is mechanical skill. The meta is always very easy accessible, and that is not the case in Rise of Kingdoms, and that's to me the big issue. Now, I do have an idea, or I have many ideas on how to approach this, but I want to talk about one idea in particular, and that is Lilith always says they want some degree of realism in this game. No, well, like they have this warfare strategy idea, right? And they want some realism in the system. So you start a city at what, like 40,000 power, I think it is. If I'm like, I'm not 100% sure, but whatever it is, you are choosing for a new city a civilization, and with this civilization you get a commander. So for example, you are choosing France, and you get Joan of Arc, or you are using Germany, you are getting Hermann. So this kind of implicates that this commander is not only representing the civilization you are using, but it's also kind of the baron, city keeper, king, jarl, whatever of your city, right? And it's kind of representing like the leadership of your account, right? Like if you want some kind of realism in the game, this is kind of what it implicates. So here's the problem. In particular, if you choose Germany, Hermann is just about the most irrelevant commander in the game. He's much more irrelevant than a green commander like Centurion. And I'm asking myself, like, where is the realism? Like, and not only that, it also, like, just in general, the system doesn't make sense the way it works right now, because like Hermann is a purple commander, and after playing for a day, or maybe like let's say 3 days, the markswoman is going to be much stronger than Hermann, and you're gonna use her in many more facets of the game. So for example, killing barbarians. Because you want to kill barbarians, you are leveling her, and you are going to use some tomes on her because you want to kill higher level barbarians. And yeah, so she's actually stronger and more important to you than Hermann, who is basically standing in your city dancing Macarena doing nothing. So there could be a system that is actually realistic and also helps you as a new player, gives you intrigue to actually keep playing the game, and gives you an idea, also gives you an idea of what's possible with commanders. So how about this? You have the same idea. You have a commander that that kind of represents your civilization. This commander could, like this is not fully fledged out. This is like just a general idea I'm having. This commander is kind of generic. He has the same spells across the board, every civilization. The only difference is the visual appearance and the name. But this commander, usually we have 5 skills, right? 4 skills and the expertise. So this commander actually has 10 skills. Well, is it 10? Yeah, 10. Pardon me. So you have 10 skills. For every spot, you have 2 skills to choose from. So the first skill usually is a damage spell. You could choose between a very strong single target spell and a AoE skill. So the single target deals 2500 damage to a target, and the AoE does 1800 damage or something like this. So the second skill could be for scenarios. For example, garrison. I would say rally is kind of unnecessary, but garrison, because you have Shadow Legion, invasion and stuff like that, so you want to have a garrison. So you can choose between garrison or instanced fighting, for example, kind of like Kira. where she does extra things in events like the Rolly Assault and stuff like that. Then the third skill could be utility based, or kind of like giving an implication of what role you want to play. So it could be one skill is you get a health bonus and you get a heal, or for example a life leech, which would be something new. Then the other skill you could choose is for example a slow and a poison attack, kind of like what Tamiris does. So that way you could personalize this commander and make him relevant for everything that you want to do in the game. Now, not only that, this commander is level 60 and 5555 from the get-go, from the very beginning, because this is for realism. Because like I said before, the implication is that this commander is representing your civilization. Your city is part of your civilization, so this commander is basically leading your city. So, but why is Herman leading the city when the markswoman is actually stronger? Doesn't make too much sense, and Herman is like completely irrelevant. So this commander, this idea that I'm having, this, like, we're gonna call him dynamic commander. This dynamic commander would be really strong from the get-go and would be viable in every single facet of the game. And you could personalize him, therefore like give kind of like a deeper connection to this commander, kind of like giving RPG incentives, which I think Lilith would be very pro on giving like RPG incentives, like deeper connections to your characters, commanders, city and whatnot. So this commander, like I said, level 60, 5555. Not only that, he's going to start as a green commander. Now, with the progression of your city, he is also going to progress. He's becoming a blue commander, becoming a purple commander, becoming a legendary commander. And then, for example, you could have a research in your academy after tier 5 units, where whatever it's called, yeah, let's say it's called, I don't know, infinite wisdom. So this is a like all the other really big things, like a, I don't know, like a 60-day research. And after this research, your legendary dynamic commander is going to progress within the timeline of Rise of Kingdoms. For example, how long ago was that? Like 10 months? 10 months ago we got Alexander Nevsky into the game. And he was kind of like an evolutionary step in commanders. Because after him, it was Scipio, it was Boudica and Joan of Arc. And those 4 commanders are kind of the meta now. Along with some outstanding old ones like Shang Yu, for example. And this way, with him, like with this dynamic commander progressing with the timeline, like every time there's an evolutionary step in commanders, he's also going to improve, doing more damage, whatever, doing more poisonous attack, giving more health bonus, or whatever it is. That way, you could make sure that new players who come in the game have something of value that is going to be relevant throughout the game, every level of the game. And it also, an implementation of this system, like if you were to implement my exact idea, it would be absolutely fair, because everybody would get this. Everybody would get this expertise commander, and everybody would have the guarantee that it is becoming what now, for example, somebody like Chisgul or Maverick or Baba, they are getting like the super strong legendary commander now. I have, for example, a 30 million power city, I get a purple one, but I have the guarantee that it is going to be the same exact commander that those really powerful people have right now. So this would be really fair. Now the next thing would be for a new player, it would give them a more more real, more concrete idea of what they want to do later in the game. Because you can hold on to equipment materials for this one commander because you know you are being guaranteed that this commander is going to be absolutely viable in the game, in the current meta, at whatever point you are going into the meta. So you can keep, you can hold on to those equipment materials. And then, for example, because you can choose between spells, and I would say you can just freely all the time change those, I would say. It means you can basically make him a tanky support. So for example, you go for tank and like movement speed reduction or something like that. And then you could have flat behind him. So now think about the bigger picture. It would make lower powered player, let's say you have a 50 million power player who just unlocked tier 5 infantry and now he has this legendary commander. He puts flat behind this commander, and like now he has a meta march, and it makes not only does that make the player individually happy, but it also makes him relevant to the kingdom. Because the way it is right now, the way I'm seeing it, is even if you go into discords on various kingdoms, when they are fighting, it is the whales and the leadership is talking and everybody shuts the hell up. Because like, you are not interested in what a 60 million power player has to say. You're just not. Like, he's not leading rallies. He's not leading garrisons. Like, he doesn't have big marches. He doesn't have 7 marches. He doesn't have full research and yada yada yada. So this one commander, this one idea that would play into all cards of Lilith would make lower powered players, tier 5 players at least, like in the meta, make them relevant right away to the kingdom. And not only that, think about it, like you have a meta march without spending any sculptures, leaving those sculptures open to, for example, if you were saving up for, I don't know, 3-4 months, you can now expertise Nevsky and Shang Yu. So now you actually are in the meta. Yeah, sure, you have 2 marches only, but you are really in the meta, and that is usually what is not happening right now. So yeah, this just one idea I'm having. I wanted to talk about this because it is like playing so much into Fruitdealer's videos, who I really love, by the way. Like big shout out. Like I said, if you haven't seen them, go check them out. So yeah, that's me talking a lot. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.